Yeah, hello everybody. I'm from Jakarta and now I'm speaking with Tuula Pere PhD from Helsinki, Finland. Hello, Tuula.
Hello,
Yeah,
everybody, and especially you, Mr. Aam.
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 Yes.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
could guess that I am going to pronounce it not correctly.
Yeah, that's okay. It's okay. Yeah, it is interesting to know, that the development of books, especially printed books nowadays, and we see that I think we might have some changing in the future on what we call now books, especially related to printed book. So, what do you think the future of printed books? Thank you.
Well, I try to avoid not giving a too long answer because I
Okay.
have been really thinking about this. Of course, when I started my own relationship with books, it was only the
Mhm.
printed books.
Okay.
And I was the kind of child who was spending a lot of time between the
Mhm.
shelves in the library, in the little village library. I read all the possible books. So I
Wow.
simply love printed books.
Mhm.
And they have become like more luxurious throughout the years, more
Mhm.
pictures, more colors,
Mhm.
uh, very good quality, at least in Finland, who is producing a lot of paper and printing quality is high. I really admired those books. And when I became a children's author later, after a long period of doing other things in life, then of course my first wish was the printed book.
Mhm.
I wanted to have my stories on paper, and I
Mhm.
was like dreaming how the children are holding the books in their hands, how they are
Mhm.
admiring the beautiful illustrations. But since then, as the world always changes and goes
Mhm.
on, I have been, I have like accepted all the other
Mhm.
ways as well. And I
Mhm.
think it's not so much what way you present the story. The main
Mhm.
point is to have a good story, to have a meaning, something
Mhm.
that really matters to people. So it's possible that these ways of publishing stories is going to
Mhm.
change more and more. But I still feel that printed book has something special because of
Mhm.
the possibility to feel the nice material in your hands and
Mhm.
to spend the time with a
Mhm.
book, like personal time, wherever you are.
Mhm.
Especially my favorite is the thought that parents are reading those
Mhm.
books as bedtime stories to their children. And what could be better
Mhm.
than to have the printed book in your hand?
Okay. And with the development of the digital books, how is it going in Finland? Do people love the digital books?
I think there are quite various opinions
Mhm.
because some people are like very traditional. They
Mhm.
think that it's not a real book if it's not a
Mhm.
printed book.
Right.
And if they,
Yeah,
for
it's not
example,
a real book. I love the terminology.
yes, but then there are people who are like having a very flexible
Mhm.
attitude. They think
Mhm.
that the book is the content, the story,
Right.
and they want to enjoy it in many ways. They are
Mhm.
listening to the audio books in the buses or in the cars or wherever
Mhm.
they are, and so they value also these other means of
Mhm.
sharing the stories.
Right.
And of course, the amount of those is increasing all the time. But I think, I'm not sure if I'm right, but I think
Mhm.
it hasn't really diminished the paper book.
Mhm.
It's like adding something.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't diminish the printed
Hmm.
books, but the media, the digital books, complement something like. Yeah.
Yes, something
Okay.
like that.
Mhm.
Something like that. And this has also affected somehow the services of the libraries. You
Mhm.
know that Finland has a unique library system. It's
Mhm.
very wide. We have like libraries all over the country. People are free to borrow whatever they
Mm,
want.
I
The
see.
selections are good.
Mhm.
And libraries have also started to give people the possibility to enjoy audiobooks and these
I
other
see.
kind of books. But they are, as you said, they are an addition to the traditional way.
Right. The bookstores in Finland, are they as usual? I mean, in terms of size, quantity, number of visitors, not much change. What do you think?
This is again something I think I have no statistics about this,
Okay.
but if I compare my personal experiences, earlier I think there were many more little bookstores,
Right.
like independent bookstores,
Mm-hmm.
and throughout the years, because the marketing is expensive and all that,
Right.
so the big chains have taken space from the little ones, and the little ones are closing for the economical reasons. This is a pity, I think, really,
Right.
because when I compare the experiences I had a child, it was like a wonder to go to a bookstore. You really felt that
Right.
this is something special, and you
Mm-hmm.
could see all the books, even if the shop was small, but there was a unique selection.
Right.
Now it's more or less a chain
Mm-hmm.
thinking. There are big chains, only a couple of them. They have always like the same books. They are thinking about, of course, they are entrepreneurs. They are thinking about sales. They are thinking what is going to sell next Christmas, what is popular, what is entertaining. So it changes the bookshops.
Okay. I would like also to know, your background because I
Okay.
noticed that you are doctor in law, right? PhD in law, and
Yes.
then turn into an author for a children book. It's why do you change? Let's say a profession.
Yes. Many people have been wondering that because when I was a student and I was studying law at the University of Helsinki, then I really didn't have any such idea.
Right.
But earlier, when I was a child, I was like dreaming of becoming an author. But I didn't
Okay.
know what one has to do to become an author. And the practical me wanted to do something like to fulfill some kind of expectations, probably.
Right.
I was a good student. I wanted to study law. I wanted to make a good profession, and I succeeded in all that. And after I had done a career in business,
Right.
I was working with law as in a solicitor's office. I was working in big corporate industrial companies, and I ended up as a senior vice president of corporate communications in some big corporations in
Right.
Finland, which are also like international ones. And of course, I felt this is important. I liked the job. It was really wonderful. But then a miracle happened.
Right.
I was already over 40, and suddenly I got my third child, very much
Right.
expected third child. And in that kind of turning point, you start thinking, what do you really want from this life? And I had a feeling that I had already achieved so much in business and in law. And deep in my heart, I had this desire of tell the stories to
Right.
children. And I started doing it little by little. I wrote more and more and more. And in fact, I did it in a very different way compared to other writers in Finland because of my background. So I made together with my husband, we made a family company, a family business, publishing a little publishing company. I don't want to boast that it would be something like big and wonderful. It's a small
Right.
company, concentrates only on this dream of mine. And
Okay.
I have now over 10 years, I have written over 60 books and published them
Okay.
in many languages. And I have like a network in
Right.
the world. I work with illustrators, translators, editors. So, because of my background, I do this in a different way. And I have a lot of independent possibilities. Of course, I have a budget of an independent little publisher.
Right.
But never mind, I can do what I think is important.
Yeah, yeah. So you're happy with what you have achieved now with us
Yes,
children author
yes.
books, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, that's interesting. Tula, but maybe this is the last questions. So
Okay.
how do you see the children books, all over the world? They growing, develop as
Yes.
you think or you wish?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
This is, of course, my personal view.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
as an independent publisher, I have been able to choose the subjects
Mm-hmm.
according to what I think is important.
Mm-hmm.
There are wonderful writers and publishers writing a lot of like entertaining, fun books. I
Mm-hmm.
also love them. I have read them to my
Mm-hmm.
children earlier
Right.
years.
Mm-hmm.
But what I write, I want to write also about the very difficult subjects. I have been
Mm-hmm.
writing about war and peace theme.
Mm-hmm.
I have been writing about poverty. The
Mm-hmm.
society is dear to me because I
Right.
think it's the human rights, it's
Mm-hmm.
how the big ones and the strong ones are dealing with the
Mm-hmm.
small ones. So I take these big themes into my
Mm-hmm.
stories.
Mm-hmm.
And in a way, I have seen that it's needed in the world. And
Mm-hmm.
people have become interested also in these like more difficult books of mine,
Mm-hmm.
more demanding subjects. And I
Mm-hmm.
have got a very nice feedback. And I think in that way, we as children's writers can also do some good, really something good and meaningful in the world.
Yeah,
Because
that's interesting. That's interesting. I think by introducing the topics of peace, world understanding, environmental issues from the
precisely,
beginning, into content of children books, it means educate our
yes,
children earlier, to understand
yes.
the world context and world situations.
Precisely. And I
Mm-hmm.
think a children's author has a very big responsibility because
Mm-hmm.
you have to be a kind of person who understands the
Mm-hmm.
needs of the children, and also finds a suitable way to
Mm-hmm.
explain even the difficult things. Because
Right.
I always want to emphasize that there is a possibility for something good. And
Mm-hmm.
I want
Mm-hmm.
my books to encourage the
Mm-hmm.
readers, even if they were in very difficult situations.
Mm-hmm.
There is like hope is like the little star always
Right,
there
right.
in the sky.
And children are the future, basically, and the
They
future
are.
belong to them.
They are. I
Okay.
think they are. Every person is important, but in a
Mm-hmm.
child, you can see also the longer future, the more
Mm-hmm.
possibilities than in anybody else.
Okay. Thank you very much, Tula, Dr. Tuula Pere, PhD in law. Wow, that's the title you don't use probably anymore now, right? For the profession, because you are focusing in writing. Thank
Yes.
you for the
Yes.
conversations. We'll see you again, hopefully, in
Hopefully
some other
see you.
topic. Yeah.
Sometimes maybe I come to Indonesia and then we have a coffee together.
Yeah, please let us know. Let us know. We have a book community in Indonesia as well.
Oh,
I'm part of what we call University Press Associations in our country.
I
So
see. I see.
I think you can meet some of book activists in our country.
That would be really nice because children's books are really a passion of mine, and
Right.
whenever there is a possibility to talk about them with
Mhm,
like-minded people, I am
mhm.
volunteering.
Yeah, please do come and welcome. Yeah,
Thank you. Thank
yeah,
you so much.
yeah. Welcome. Yeah, thank you. See you
Thank
again.
you. Have a
Yeah,
nice day.
have a nice day. Bye bye.
Bye bye.